Right, recording. So hi you guys, so welcome to my channel. I'm back with a new video and we're gonna check out top 10 rising UFC stars getting smashed. So let's go.
10-0!
Thumbs up.
Hype is real!
UFC's PR machine annually promotes dozens of fighters, trying to make real stars out of them. Some return these investments and make it to the very top. Others face problems and do not stand up to competition and get relegated to the sideshows. Today, we are going to take a look at 10 hype trains that everyone anticipated to conquer the MMA world, but fell short of expectations and remained only as one-hit wonders.
Oh, okay.
Hernandez ended up in the octagon overnight. For 5 years, Alex fought his way through the thorns of regional promotions and moonlighted as a real estate agent. His record stood at 8 wins and 1 loss when he suddenly got a call from UFC and was offered to match up on short notice against the 12th-ranking Beneil Dariush. Hernandez had a few weeks to prepare, but it was enough to gatecrash the top league and triumph at a high-profile numbered event.
You need your time and journey.
Alex immediately rushed forward and knocked out his opponent as early as in the first minute.
Why would that quick start like that, though? Oh! Hernandez knocks out Beneil Dariush!
He lands another punch on the way down, but look at this. That is just perfect.
The stunning finish over the experienced fighter instantly brought the young prospect into the limelight.
Okay.
A few months later, he solidified his ranking with yet another victory and unleashed a trash-talking war against Donald Cerrone. Right at the press conference, Alex called the veteran aged and withered and promised to send his geriatric ass back into the stables.
And Aleksandar
Hernandez got off to a brisk start.
Big early land from Hernandez. Let's see.
But Cerrone, true to form, kept his cool at the outset. The cowboy gradually gained momentum and started to hit back.
Punches start to land for Cerrone. You think punches are coming.
Oh, is it bleeding?
By the end of the first round, the cheeky rookie was probably regretting his insults to the old-timer. However, it was too late.
With Donald Cerrone, not many guys.
Finishing him off on the canvas was a mere formality.
Rick, hello.
He's hurt very badly. Look at this feint, right here.
After recovering from the initial shock of loss, Hernandez thanked Cerrone in social media for an invaluable lesson. Alex has showed a patchy performance ever since, and the status of a rising star overnight downgraded to an ordinary name in the roster.
First round knockout for Alex.
Oh, what's in my eye?
Now, it may be hard to believe, but at one point, Paige VanZant...
Hello! Like, you're just gonna end it like that, so that was it for him? Like, what was that? More of the story? No? Okay.
Walked around without breast implants and appeared in the cage more often than she posted her nudes online. The knockout beauty came to the octagon with a 3-1 record and scored 3 consecutive wins in less than a year.
I heard breast
with 2 of them being inside the distance.
Paige VanZant.
VanZant became a fixture in the top 10 and endeared herself to the audience not only with trademark smiles and cute interviews, but also with serious ambitions. UFC encouraged this in every possible way, and in late 2015 it main evented the 21-year-old girl against Rose Namajunas. VanZant walked out to the fight as the favorite and was full of smiles. However, after taking a few hits, the grin was wiped off her face.
Range playing the matador when she needs to. Look at that.
Rose worked aggressively on the ground with elbows, trashing Paige's face.
Oh my God.
Elbows here from Rose Namajunas.
At the end of the third round, Namajunas almost got the finish on the canvas, but VanZant was saved by the bell.
Is it blood?
Round 4 was marked by 2 armbar attempts.
Difficult to defend.
Yeah,
She's
it's
gonna
blood.
stretch her out. This could be it right here.
Tap out!
In
You're
the
gonna break your...
fifth,
No.
Paige was finally put out of her misery with a rear naked choke.
This is there it is.
So Rose Namajunas finishes the job.
For a while, she was out of business, seeking solace in the popular show Dancing with the Stars. Then Paige staged a comeback with a beautiful knockout of Beck Rawlings.
Combinations that she
She rolled it. And it's all over. Paige VanZant
thus regaining some of her former hype. VanZant was given a second chance at another main event, in which she only got remembered for the dance battle at the weigh-in. The next day, Michelle Waterson ruined the bright prospects of her rival once and for all.
It is all over.
Having failed to make it to the big time in the octagon, VanZant left the promotion for bare knuckle, where she made some bucks. Now, Paige successfully sells her intimate content on OnlyFans, regularly providing your friends with links and high spirits.
Listen, I don't knock anyone's work and hustle. You know, get your money, do your thing.
In 2019, Georgian ninja Giga Chikadze got off to a good start in UFC by decisioning 4 opponents. Following hitting his stride, he performed 3 beautiful knockouts in 10 months.
The thing is, we're not paying nobody's bills. You're the only one who's paying your bills, so get your money however you feel comfortable doing it. Don't feel pressured by anyone or anything. Like, okay?
While the finish of Jamie Simmons was not regarded by many as a significant
Even if you
achievement,
disagree with it, don't want to do it.
the annihilation of Cub Swanson
Okay.
in 1 minute was enough to secure him a main event for the first time. Giga outshot Edson Barboza, making the referee step in to save the Brazilian in the 3rd round.
Brasil. Oi, tudo bem?
3 consecutive knockouts, 3 bonuses, a place in the top 10, and a winning streak of 7 victories emboldened Chikadze to challenge Max Holloway, though the matchmakers were less optimistic, pitting him against Calvin Kattar for a 5-rounder. Giga called himself the best striker in UFC and went so far as to threaten to get the champ Alex Volkanovski after taking out Calvin with ease.
This fight clock is brought to you.
Ignoring the instinct of self-preservation, Kattar rushed headlong into the combat, giving Chikadze a hard time with his onslaught. The tipping point was at the end of round 2, when Calvin threw a spinning back elbow.
Elbows be
Then
sharp.
continued to change the adversary's face.
Oh, what? Oh, that's some blood. Oh my god, look at his back. It's a lot of blood. His face! Oh my god.
As the scorecards were being announced, Chikadze sadly watched the referee
Oh my God.
raising a hand other than his own. However, this did not prevent him from declaring that he would still beat Kattar 9 times out of 10. Too bad we cannot test out this prediction anytime soon. There have always been enough octagon warriors with a college wrestling background, but stars of such magnitude as Gregor Gillespie don't come to MMA very often. He had a ranking in the All-American 4 years in a row and triumphed at the 2007 National Championship.
trainer.
Soon, Gillespie tried his talents in mixed martial arts, winning the Ring of Combat belt in a matter of a few years.
Those punches to the head
Having
is killing
defended
me.
his belt twice, Gregor signed a contract with UFC and embarked on a career in the promotion with 6 landslide victories. 5 of
was
them
that
were
blood in the
scored
mouth?
inside the distance.
Ah, my
Back then,
God.
no one had such an impressive
Not in the
finishing
head.
streak.
Oh, like that.
This secured Gregor a place in the main card of the 244 event. His opponent was the everlasting prospect Kevin Lee, who had lost twice in a row, made an unsuccessful foray into welterweight, and hired a new coach, Firas Zahabi. In the run-up to the bout, many argued that Gillespie had enough skills to cause problems for Khabib Nurmagomedov. It emboldened Gregor to go so far as to say that he would definitely challenge Khabib after beating Lee.
Michigan taking on.
Unfortunately, Gillespie failed to walk the talk. For several minutes, the fighters kept their distance and exchanged jabs, clean forgetting about their wrestling background.
Both men are very prepared for it. Good right hand there by Kevin, right hand lead.
Halfway through the round, there was an ominous clash.
Up to the body.
Oh. Nah, oh my god, that's scary.
Here we go one more time.
Look at the combo.
Boom,
Bah,
the right
and then
hand,
the.
perfect right hand. Look at that high kick. Sensational.
Ay, ay,
Brutal
ay.
shin
I'm
to
not
the
gonna
chin
lie, that's
derailed
clean. Oh
Gillespie's
my
hype
god.
train and put him out of business for a year and a half. Ironically, Kevin did not win in the organization anymore, and a couple of years later, went to work for Khabib.
Okay.
The decorated Cuban judoka started out in MMA with a record of 7-2. Then he picked up steam and cranked out 25 bouts with no defeats. At that time, Lombard was unstoppable. He slammed rivals down from his height, made them sleep on the canvas,
I was gonna say,
tore out their ankles if no tap out was forthcoming.
oh my God!
Hector became the first full-fledged Bellator star. In the organization, he had 8 victorious performances, including 7 times by way of knockout.
Oh, that got to him. He hit the spot.
The Cuban won the very first Bellator middleweight Grand Prix, obtained the championship belt, and retained it for good. A little later, he set a record for fastest knockout in promotion history by finishing Jay Silva in a matter of 6 seconds.
Already when they're close to each other, Jay Silva. Oh, good left hand. The end is there. And that is it. Just like that.
Lombard was rightfully considered as one of the best middleweights in the world. To poach him, UFC included a pay-per-view sales bonus in the contract. Bellator could not offer that type of deal sweetener. As a debutant, Lombard was supposed to fight with Brian Stann, but due to numerous changes, he got a gatekeeper, Tim Bosch, instead. Hector made several takedowns.
Bosch is what you win this takedown. Lombard is so strong. Got the takedown.
And occasionally landed trademark hooks.
A D every day, caught him with the jab. And when you work with a guy like Matt Hume, then you can stay with
I was
that.
But the rest of the time, he preferred to just stand still and bide his time to strike. While the audience was booing, Bosch threw careful shots from the distance, hitting twice as many as Lombard did, and wrested the victory by a split decision. Before long, Lombard redeemed himself more than once and demonstrated his power. It seemed like it was a comeback, but then he had doping problems. The 1-year disqualification, the losing streak afterwards, and the back elbow of oldie but goodie Dan Henderson. Once and for all, relegated all Hector's hopes to the category of those unfulfilled. Sage Northcutt is widely regarded as UFC's first golden boy. Even before his professional career started, he'd won dozens of international karate tournaments. At the age of 9, Northcutt became the youngest karate kid to be on the cover of a professional magazine. Dana White first noticed him at Legacy FC during the filming of his show, Looking for a Fight. By signing the contract, Sage became the youngest fighter on the roster and debuted on a numbered event.
Here we go!
A single explosion was enough to demolish an undefeated Francisco Trevino.
Push and cut, trying to finish it. Look at that speed. Well done. All over him.
Nah, he bullying him. Hello?
It's all over.
In short order, Northcutt locked a guillotine on Cody Pfister's neck and got another W.
Does it again.
In just a few months, the 19-year-old was considered to be the most promising prospect. Sage gave dozens of interviews and frequently flexed his body on social media. 8 days before the next bout, Northcutt's opponent pulled out due to an injury and was replaced by Bryan Barberena. Super Sage pushed the action with a few stormy moves.
Cheating on an MMA, and
Northcutt
gets hit
caught him.
here.
It's off the front leg. He tagged him.
Big right
Very
hands
hard.
by Northcutt.
But Barberena handled the pressure and gradually took over the initiative.
57 seconds.
Ooh.
At the very beginning of the second round,
seem more
Bam Bam
calmer
caught a
and
bewildered teenager, punishing him for a
saving the
mistake
stamina.
and maintaining the top position. Bryan rattled him with some heavy elbows,
Time in his MMA.
passed the guard,
Stepped over again.
and closed an arm triangle. Sage immediately tapped, even though Barberena didn't transition to side control.
Sage Northcutt taps.
After the defeat, Northcutt slowly but surely was losing the hype around him. Sage fought 5 more times in the octagon and won 4 of them. Nonetheless, the buzz was over, and UFC cut him from the promotion at the end of 2018. Dana White explained that the kid simply wasn't mature enough for such a level. Sage signed a contract with Singapore One Championship and got brutally knocked out.
Grapple with him.
His face was literally cracked, so the once promising Karate Kid is still recovering from the 8 skull fractures.
Oh,
Edmund Shabazian easily put together a streak of 6 finishes in local Californian leagues, and came to prove his skills in a contender series. It took only 40 seconds for Shabazian to drive Antonio Jones into Knockout City, and to impress Dana White, Sean Shelby, and Mick Maynard.
Another one.
They unanimously signed up Shabazian, which made him the youngest UFC male fighter at the time. Edmund came out victorious in his debut by a split decision, and then defeated the next 3 rivals inside the distance. He nailed Charles Byrd with elbows, defending the takedown attempt.
He had his whole exposed. What do you think is gonna happen? You down there.
Jack Marshman was pummeled by strikes from the top and eventually tapped to the rear naked choke. Finally, Golden Boy landed a picture-perfect head kick on Brad Tavares, propelling Edmund into the top 10 of the middleweight division. No other athlete at the age of 21 has gotten this high in the rankings. Expectations were great, and even the champion, Israel Adesanya, stated that he could clearly see Edmund as a future title challenger. Shabazian himself intended to try on the belt sooner than John Jones did. He was even a betting favorite against veteran Derek Brunson. Edmund was doing well for the first minutes of the fight.
Shabazian is just throwing from left field. Break here and back to Las Vegas.
They're saying, you know, stay. Ooh, that hurt.
But then he gassed out.
Brunson coming in with some power shots.
Body kick. That seemed to really hurt Brunson. But right now he's letting him press him against the fence.
Tired.
Brunson trapped him at the fence, secured a takedown, and started chasing the finish.
Oh,
Now for Brunson, who's ready to wow.
Golden Boy ended up barely surviving the second round.
Oh my God, I cannot look.
Gosh, did Herb wave it off?
Oh man, no, he didn't wave it off. No, he didn't. He survived the round. But
Despite being exhausted, he made it to the third and got stopped in 25 seconds.
that's about it right here. These are huge shots he's eating. And now that's it. That's a good call.
Finito.
Shabazian had to let his dreams of becoming the youngest champion slip away. The next 2 bouts,
That's
he lost
Sweden's
as well.
flag? Sweden? I'm from Sweden. And it was Norway? I'm half Norwegian. My mom is from Norway, my dad is from Iran. But I'm born and raised in Sweden, Stockholm.
Unfortunately for British MMA fans, Michael Bisping, the first UFC champion from the UK, retired in the fall of 2017.
2.5 minutes in.
However, it didn't take long for a new prospect from England to rise. Darren Till recovered from a shoulder injury and initiated a crusade at the welterweight division with 2 victories.
There it is again, the left hand. Oh!
Soon he faced off against Cowboy Cerrone in the main event. Despite the underdog status, Till outstruck Donald on the feet and made the referee step in.
Turned away from his opponent. Mark Goddard taking a look. What a stoppage!
The Liverpool native earned a way into the top 10 and claimed to become a triple champion. Darren requested to headline the event in his hometown. 7 months later, his wish came true. Till's subsequent performance against top welterweight contender Stephen Thompson was scheduled for May 2018. The crowd went wild as Darren walked out, yet the bout itself was more like a chess match.
Aggressive, so it sounds like Darren Till's game plan was today, possibly tie him up and force him to...
The fighters landed 68 strikes overall, and it was a knockdown from Till in the 5th round that determined the winner.
Till has him back on the fence. A big left hand. There it is. Till is on top.
Who does the gorilla want next?
Everyone and anyone, I don't care. I'm not scared of
I wasn't ready for that accent.
Darren got a title shot at UFC 228, though he didn't ask for it. The hype surrounding the undefeated prospect was so big that the Brit was even considered to be a betting favorite against the reigning champion, Tyron Woodley. Early in round 2, Woodley landed his signature T-bomb.
talk a lot about Woodley and
And kept dismantling Till for a few minutes on the canvas.
No, he's still in.
The champ casually locked a Darce choke, forcing the contender to tap. Till was heartbroken, and, as is often the case, promised to come back even stronger. Nonetheless, he lost 3 of his next 4 fights. Dana White admitted that they may have pushed Darren too hard. At the end of 2018, Dana White suddenly made an unprecedented deal, trading one of the all-time greats,
Mouse, right?
Demetrius Johnson, for Ben Askren. Funky was an undefeated wrestler. Still, he had already passed his prime
Mighty
years.
Mouse, right?
After signing a contract, Ben started verbally attacking every star in the promotion, including the Diaz brothers, GSP, and Khabib. His extraordinary trash talk style and phlegmatic appearance aroused huge interest among the public.
Okay.
The first few minutes of the bout against Robbie Lawler made the former Bellator champion suffer the hardest beating of his entire career. Askren launched for a takedown at the very beginning, but Lawler brutally slammed the curly head into the canvas.
He had like the shit talking, because I feel like that's what they want a lot. Because like Mighty Mouse, like he's not a shit talker, right? He's talented and stuff, but some people think that's boring. They want you to do all the other stuff. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm mixing up.
Miraculously survived vicious ground and pound and turned the battle into a wrestling match.
However, the way Robbie Lawler's stuffing his head is the problem.
The action was stopped by Herb Dean when Ruthless either just
me,
lowered his hand or
like,
fell asleep from a bulldog choke.
You gotta do something.
He's out! Here. Now watch Robbie's right arm. The question is though, but look how that arm went limp.
Despite a controversial debut, Ben continued to trash talk welterweight contenders. In a few months, he was scheduled to face Jorge Masvidal. At that time, Jorge was considered to be a gatekeeper and was far away from pay-per-view star status.
Security run with him.
Askren promised to dominate Masvidal and buzzed up the rivalry. The bout was anticipated more than the main
I'm having
event.
Masvidal. I'm going for Masvidal here.
Fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
No way.
So the fastest knockout in UFC history.
You know, he was out immediately.
I didn't know.
Those 5 seconds of Shadow Realm travel have completely changed the lives of several people. Ben immediately became an infinite meme generator. Masvidal gained fame and paved the way for hefty paychecks.
I mean, I just had a feeling.
Johnny Walker was wandering around the regional scene for quite some time. He gained momentum in Brazil, then in Europe, finishing opponents both in heavyweight and light heavyweight divisions. After reaching a 5-win streak, Johnny earned a spot on Dana White's Contender Series. He grabbed the W by unanimous decision and managed to prove having all-around skills. The Brazilian pressed the action and entertained the audience, which allowed him to sign a contract.
I think he senses that he's got the Silva a little bit loopy here. Oh,
wow, look at the power.
He's gonna dump him.
Not too tired.
In his UFC debut, Johnny got an opportunity to showcase his creative striking and brutally knocked out Khalil Roundtree.
And another short elbow since Roundtree was back. And that's it. Welcome to the octagon.
It took only 15 seconds to destroy Justin Ledette with an eccentric combination of a hook kick and a spinning back fist.
That is the underdog in the blue.
Okay, that was nice.
And now heavy shots.
Ref, hello.
Misha Serkunov couldn't stop the hype train either and got run over in less than a minute.
The reason why that happens is look at
Kind of shuffled a little bit. It's like,
he throws so many different looks at you.
Walker injured his shoulder during the worm dance, which caused him more damage than all 3 previous adversaries combined.
Oh my God, see.
The exciting prospect plucked up the courage and became a loose cannon. Johnny even called out John Jones.
That's
and
what I
some
know him
MMA
from,
fans
probably.
would give him decent chances against the invincible 205-pound king. People used to believe that Walker was a new blood that could bring some action to the stagnating division. The title shot wasn't on the line against Corey Anderson, but the Brazilian prospect could still become a contender in case of a solid performance. Johnny was confident and promised to knock Corey out in every interview. In revenge, Anderson unleashed his wrath on Walker, blasting a heavy string of punches.
Strikes. Oh, big right hand by Corey.
Why does it look like he wasn't ready?
He's in trouble.
Johnny managed to get up, then absorbed another crippling attack.
Another one.
One more landed on, and the referee stepped in. Following the stoppage, Walker started realizing that his dream of beating Jon Jones was not to be. Since then, Johnny's come out victorious only once out of 4 fights and myth-busted his status as the chosen one.
Pure stand-up battle with Donald Cerrone. Not many guys.
If you like the video, kick the like button. Subscribe to our...
Oh, sheesh. That was the video, you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And hopefully I'll see you in another video. Bye.